Welcome to Module 2. In Module 1, we looked at exploring the Microsoft environment, where we looked at the meaning of Excel and what Excel is used for. And in course of exploring the Microsoft Excel 2016 environment, we were able to look at the following: the title bar, the quick access toolbar, the customized quick access toolbar, the window control button, the ribbon display option, the tabs, the ribbons, dialog box launcher, formula bar, name box, active cell, row label, column label, worksheet, the workbook, scroll bar, view tools, zoom slider, status bar, and customized status bar. Today, without wasting time, we'll be looking at creating and formatting an Excel document. Okay, before us here, there is a problem, and for us to resolve this problem, be making use of some of the tools on the ribbon and carrying out some of the functions like the font size, the font color, fill color, deleting, inserting, applying border, resizing column, merging cells, adding or removing border, bold a text, currency style formatting, addition format, formula format, auto sum using the summation sign, cell referencing, difference, copying a worksheet, hiding and unhiding a column, and then we'll finally save our work to the desktop. Okay, without wasting time, let's go into the Excel file. Before us here is the Excel file. Here we have the problem before us. Okay, and we have a table where the items has been given to us, and the amounts on each of the item, that is the budget carried out on each of the item, is being listed, as well as the expenses on each of the item. The problem said that a family has an income of 700,000 naira per month, and after making a budget of 670,000 naira, and the actual expenses at the end of the month was 603,000 naira. What will be the total balance at the end of the month? And we're asked to find the average expenses. Okay, but since we've taken note of the problem, I want us to remove this problem from this worksheet. Okay, in order for us to remove this, you take your mouse pointer to your row label. Okay, click on it, press down your left click on your mouse, then left click and hold, then drag to select the rows you want to delete. After that, right click on it while your mouse is still there. I hope you can see my mouse pointer. Right click on it, then select delete, and it deletes the entire row and it's a format. Here before us is the table. We are going to format this table together as we try to resolve the problem before us. Okay, now I want to move this table to assume the second column and the second row. How do we do that? In order to select the cell, in case you want to move a cell or a table or a row or column, that is how you do it, or some cells about your worksheet. Just highlight it, take your mouse, move your mouse to the edge of the line, be it top or side or wherever. So long as you have this cross sign, when you move your mouse to the top, you see this cross sign, okay, the top of the selection, you see this cross sign, and then press your left click on your mouse, then you can now move your text about your worksheet. We want it to assume the second row, second column, then you release your mouse there. Okay, we now have our text, we now have our data or our table on the second row, second column. It starts from there. Okay, so now let's format this table together. Meanwhile, I want us to add a title to our table. Let's click on the first, on this cell, and any cell you click, that assumes your active cell. If you check the name box, you see the name of the cell you are in we showcase on the name box B1. That is to tell you that we are currently on column B, row 1. Okay, so now on that row, on that cell, let's give our table a header. And what are we working on? We are working on a family monthly budget. Okay, the question said that a family has an income, so it's a family monthly budget. Let's type that together. Okay, a family monthly budget. Anyway, the question did not tell us whether the month is January or February, neither did it stipulate the year the budget was carried out. All we know is that it's a family monthly budget from the question. Okay, now you've noted that the first cell is where our text is, and our text did not fit into that cell. So what we need to do, let's highlight cell B. We're going to merge some cells together. Okay, in order to achieve that, let's highlight this cell B1, C1, D1 to E1. Okay, and merge the cells to one cell and centralize our text. To achieve that, go to the alignment group. You see a tool, merge and center. You can click on it and effect your changes immediately, or you click on this drop down arrow and select merge and center. Okay, you see that your text have been centralized. While still being highlighted, selected, that same cell, let's bold the text on it. To bold it, take your mouse pointer to this front group. You see the B there. It's either you press Ctrl B or you click on the B to bold your text. And we're going to increase the font size. We are going to set it to 14. So you can use this tool, which is if you mouse over a tool, you see that the name will pop up, and the function of that particular tool will also explain further for you to note what that tool is being used for. Okay, see, so here we have the increase font size. You can use this one or you use this. So as you are increasing it here, it's affecting this other place as well. So we have succeeded in increasing our font size to size 14. You can use this one to to reduce or decrease your font size. I hope you're seeing what is happening to our text. So let's go back to make it, to choose that font there, 14, font size 14. Okay, so we have succeeded in adding a title to our table. Okay, now let's format this table. Let's continue in the formatting the table. Okay, now looking at our serial numbers, you see that we have more items on the list, but the serial number is just 1 and 2. Meanwhile, we have more than 2 items on our table. Okay, so we are going to number the rest of the item. There are different ways you can do this. Let's select 1 and 2. Okay, 1 and 2 is either you manually add it 3, 4, 5, 6, number it like that, or you can select the first 2 rows, 1 and 2, then you take your mouse pointer to this point, this dot. You see this dot down here, you double click on it and it fills up the rest of the rows. Okay, by numbering it for you. If you have the items up to 1000, it will number it down just with that double clicking. Okay, there are other ways you can, another way you can do that. Let's Ctrl Z, Ctrl and Z, Ctrl Z. Ctrl Z means undo. It's either you use this undo or you do Ctrl Z to undo your work. Okay, so another way we can do that is to put our mouse pointer, whenever you have this cross sign, you can now drag it, or left clicking on your mouse, you now drag it to this point. Okay, so and then you release it where you want the numbering to stop, and it numbers accordingly. Okay, serially numbers your work or your item or whatever you intend numbering. It does it for you accordingly. Okay, now we have achieved that. we have achieved numbering our items, indicating that we have 8 items on the list. Okay, now we from the question, it was said that the total of our budget on our budget is 670,000 naira. Okay, so now this is the amount given, which indicates that this amount is budget. Let's quickly change this amount to budget. Okay, let's quickly change that amount to budget. So let's type budget. Okay, so this amount is our budget and the total on it is 600. So now let's click on this cell, let's type total. Okay, we have succeeded in doing that. Okay, so now let's format this text. Looking at this serial number, you note that there are some space here and it does not look nice on our table. Okay, and now looking at this column C, that is column C, you note that there are some text that are hidden, and there are some text that are hidden, of which our text did not fit into the column. Okay, our text did not fit into the column. We are going to adjust that. And looking at column D, note that there are some spaces here, so we are going to do that. Okay, you can do it manually by clicking on this top edge here, then dragging your cells to adjust it to the size you really want it to be. Okay, you can adjust it and then you release your hand. Okay, you can adjust it while you are pressing down your mouse, left clicking on your mouse. You can now drag it to the point where you want it to be. Okay, but we don't want to do it like that. We want Excel to adjust it for us. Okay, we want Excel to adjust it for us. So the first way you can go about it, one, you can highlight the cell, then take your mouse pointer to the cell group. Look at the cell group. I hope you can see my cursor. Then on the cell group, there is a tool called format. Click on that arrow down, and arrow pointer, click on that arrow, then you have some pop-up option. On the options, look out for auto fit column width. Click on it and it automatically fits your text to that column. Now we can do same method on this, but let's use the other way we can go about it. Now looking at this column, look at C. We want to adjust the text on this column C. Okay, now take your mouse pointer to the line between the column C and the column D. Look at the line here. Are you seeing where my mouse pointer is? To this line, you have a cross sign there. You have a cross sign that has an arrow at the edge. So whenever you have a cross sign that has an arrow at the edge, when you put your cursor at the point on a line like this, now you double click on that line. When you double click on the line, you see that the text has adjusted itself to fit into the column. So without going through the other process, let's use the same process to achieve this, to adjust this particular column, text in this column. Let's take our mouse pointer to that line. Let's double click. You see that the text has fit into the column as well. Okay, so now we have achieved that. Let's also do same to this. Okay, let's do same to this. That is this one. Now we'll take to this column label. Note that to adjust your line, to adjust a column, adjust the text in a particular column, you need to take your mouse pointer to the column label. That is where you can adjust that particular column. So we are going to look at adjust this one. To take our pointer to the column label, double click on it and it adjusts itself as well. So now let's quickly format our table has an header. Okay, let's format the heading. Let's highlight it by selecting it, then let's bold it. We are bolding it, and let's increase the font to 12. Okay, let's increase the font size, which we have just done. Then let's also centralize the heading. For us to centralize that, go to the alignment group, mouse over the tools, look at this tool, it says center, so click on it. once, and it centralized our heading. Okay, the text on our heading on our table has been centralized. Okay, we have achieved that. So now let's format this text. We are talking about budget, and budget is what? On naira. Okay, but the values on this budget are not represented in naira, so let's quickly format that by for us to achieve this, we need to highlight the particular column we want to format. Okay, now we take after selecting it or highlighting that particular column, we take our mouse pointer to the number group. On the number group, you see your number format. Okay, click on that drop down arrow. Now from the options, from the pop-up options, you see currency on the list. Currency, click on that currency, and you note something, that our budget has automatically been taking that effect and the naira currency. This is because I've already set the currency to naira. How did I go about this? I clicked on the launcher, the dialog box launcher, and before us comes up a dialog box. Okay, now I now select the currency, click on currency. You know that it's on 2 places of decimal, and we have 2 places of decimal here. Okay, look, can you see the symbol, the naira symbol, and this is the naira symbol. So in case you want to change the symbol, sometimes when we click on currency, it could be that our currency is in dollar or in any other currency. You can change your currency from this place, the symbol. Click on it, and now you can select from this option. You can see as I'm scrolling, I'm seeing different country currencies. Now let's select one here, the English United States. Let's select the currency, which is in dollar. Then after that, click on OK. You note that, sorry, before you want to effect any change, ensure you highlight that particular row. Okay, so highlight the row, then come here, click on currency, let's select one of the currency and see what happens. Okay, let's select this. Okay, let's select this, the English United States currency. Say okay. You note that our naira have changed to what? Dollar, and still this replicable here. Okay, it's still here because that is what we have set our currency to be. We set it to be in 2 places of decimal, and we change G to what? Dollar sign. Okay, so now we want to, we're in Nigeria, we're not in America, so our currency is naira. So let's set it back to naira and proceed with our problem. Okay, we say okay, now it has been changed to naira. So let's click on this other one, change your currency, come to your number group, your number value, click on currency, and it changes automatically to naira because we have set it to naira. Yes, it's possible you can highlight the 2 column and effect your changes, but I'm doing it one after the other. Okay, now we have achieved actualize formatting budget and the actual column. Okay, by formatting and changing it towards currency. Now we are going to calculate the total. Okay, the total on the budget. Let's calculate the total to see if we will get that exact amount that is being stipulated in the problem. Okay, so there are different ways we can go about this to get our total. We are going to start with the first step. Yes, the first one, let's go to our formula bar. Where do we want our total to be? You click on that particular cell, then go to your formula bar, click on the equal sign, then select the first cell. Okay, you want to add, these are the values you want to add, right? So click on the first value, then click on plus sign, second value, plus sign, third value, plus sign, fourth value, plus sign, fifth value, plus sign, sixth value, plus sign, seventh value, plus sign, eighth value. Then you press your enter key. You see, we have gotten that value that was stipulated in our problem, that we have the The budget was 670,000. The other way you can go about it, because when we do this, what if we have up to 1,000 or more than 1,000 list of items that we are to find the sum? Is that how we'll be going to click and add a plus sign, click and add a plus sign? You see that it's going to take a longer time. So the other way you can go about this, let's click on the next cell, okay, to look at the second method, okay? Click on the next cell. Now still go to your formula bar, click on your equal sign. Note that once you put an equal sign on the formula bar, you have told Excel is now alert that yes, you are about to carry out a function, and it's always ready. Say, I'm ready for you. That's okay. So now let's proceed. When you click on your equal sign, you type sum. Note that as you're typing, the thing has then popped up. Click on it, then go to the cell, click on those values you want to sum, those values you want to add, okay? Now we just click on the first, we highlight that all the values we want to sum, okay? Then click on the close your bracket, okay? Bracket close. Then you press your enter key. You see that you've gotten the same value with this, and if you click on it, the formula is being stipulated on the formula bar, okay? You click on this, you can see that the formula is stipulated here on the formula bar, okay? Now there's another method we can do this, we can achieve this. Let's delete this particular one. To delete the text, click on that text, click on the cell, okay, where the text is. Then you click on, hit your delete key, delete it entirely, okay? And another way you can achieve that, you can use this your tool, the delete tool on the ribbon. Look out for the delete tool on the cell group. You now see your delete tool, click on this drop down arrow, click. It's either you can delete a cell, which is what we did. If the cell is there, you can click on it. Let's say Ctrl Z. Let's do Ctrl Z. Okay, so we select this, come to this point, click on delete cell. It says delete. Are you going to shift cell up or shift cell up? You say okay, it shifts it up. It has deleted it, okay? And that particular cell, the entire cell deletes. You see, it has moved what we have here up, okay? So that is another quicker way. You want to eradicate that particular cell, don't want it to be there. That is another way you can do it, okay? So sometimes you can mouse over or play over some of this tool and see its effect, okay? That is another way we can learn faster, okay? So here we have deleted this text. We want to see how to use the other method, the third method, which we say is the summation method. So you just need to highlight your entire cell, entire value, the values you want to carry out the sum on, okay? Then on the tools here, on the editing group, you see your auto sum. Click on your auto sum, or you click on this drop down option and select sum, okay? It automatically adds the value for you and it assumes the next cell, okay? You see, it assumes the next cell. Now in this formula, we did not go about typing it on the formula bar. It just did it for us automatically, and if you click on it, it shows the function with which it used in executing that particular the formula with which it used in its execution is being displayed on the formula bar, okay? So if you click on this, it's the same formula. It told you that I have just added the values in D3 to the values in D4. That's the meaning, okay? So now let's delete one of this value because it's the same function, okay? The same formula. Okay, now we are also going to add this too. Instead of us going to the formula bar and typing our sum, we click on this. Look at this arrow here, this pointer. We drag it. What have we done? We have done cell referencing. We have just told Excel that we want you to replicate the value or the function, what you did here, on this same value. That is what Excel has just done. Okay, if you click on this, it has also told you that the function I did here is the same function I did here. And what I did here is to sum the values in cell E3, which is cell E3, to the values in cell E10 to achieve this, okay? Some of us might be wondering, I didn't see when you typed your sum. I didn't see when you carried it, when you typed it on on the formula bar, and you were able to get this value. Yes, that's another shorter way you can do that. Okay, for those of us that want to know how we did to achieve this, okay, let's also go back to this place. Let's say equal to, then put your sum. Your sum. So what are we summing? We are summing the values in cell E3 to the values in cell E10. And do your closing bracket. Sorry. Press your enter key. Okay. You see, we now have the same values. And if you click on it, we have the same function, formula function. Okay. We have the same function on the formula bar. So let's delete one of it because it's just one. Okay. Now, what did the question say? The question says that an income was given. Let's come to this place point. Let's say income. An income of 700,000 was given. 700,000. Okay. Now, the income of 700,000, let's say savings. Going to look out for the savings. Is there any savings from the income and the budget? We don't know. Let's say savings. Okay. Now, getting the savings, let's say expenditure. Now, let's put our expenditure. We have income. We have expenditure. Let's say expenditure. Expenditure. Our expenditure, which is the budget, savings. Then we also were asked to find the average. Let's say average. Average on the actual expenses carried out. Okay. Then finally, we're asked to find the total balance. Total is a balance. Okay. Okay. So now the income has been given, and the expenditure is our budget, which is here, the total budget. Okay. So we're going to reference this cell to this. So now let's go to the formula bar and put our equal sign. So we say the expenditure here is this. Let's click on it and press our enter key. You see, we have just referenced this expenditure to the total we have here, the total on our budget, the total of our budget. Okay. So now the savings, how do we know the savings? The savings should be the income minus the expenditure. Okay. So now let's say equals, let's formula bar say equal to this cell minus this cell, income minus the expenditure. Then you press your enter key, will give us the savings. Okay. Now, what about the average? We are carrying the average on the actual expenses. We want to know the average of the actual expenses. Okay. So now let's say equal to, then type your average. As you're typing it, you see that it has popped up. Click on it. Then you highlight the values you want to carry your average on. Let's say we want to carry out our average on these cells. Cell E8 to cell E10. Okay. Then you close your bracket. You press your enter key. You see that the average has been computed. Well, there's another way we can also compute our average. Let's carry this cell to this point. Okay. So we have a free cell. Let's use the summation format to carry out our average. You can do this by highlighting the particular cell you want to carry the average on. Okay. All the cells or the values you want to carry out the average on. Go to your editing group where you have the auto summation sign. Click on the drop down arrow. You see average. Click on average. It automatically carries out the average, and which assumes the next cell. Okay. If you click on it, see the same formula we have here is the same formula we have here is the same formula we have here. Okay. So let's delete it because that's not, or let's do Control Z. Control Z. Okay. Because that's not what we want. We don't want our average to be there. All right. The next thing we need to do is total balance. For us to get the total balance, we need to get the difference between the budget and the actual. Now let's add another column. Let's take the header to be different. Okay, difference. So for us to quickly, in order, because what if you have carried out some format on this particular heading? So in order not to waste time, let's just highlight the heading again and do the same thing we did with the other one. Let's bolden it together, bold it twice, and then the front size, can reselect the front so that the other one, if there's any changes, all will take the same format. Okay, so we have done this. Now look at the text did not fit into the column, so let's quickly fit in our text to the column, like taking your mouse to this edge, double click on it, and it fits the text to the column. Okay, now how do we get the difference? Click on the first cell, that is on the first column where we have our first item. Okay, now we want to compute the difference between the first budget and the actual expenses carried on food. So for us to get the difference, we say equal to this cell, press your minus key, minus this cell. Okay, you see you clicked on this cell, minus, you now click on this and you press your enter key. So the value is given. Okay, sometimes when you have something like this and you are having hash, it means that there's no enough space for that particular text or particular value in that particular cell. The cell is telling you that I need more space, so you just come to this point and double click to adjust the cell. Okay, so now we've gotten this. So instead of us going over doing it one after the other on all this carrying out the same function on all the cells, why don't you give Excel command, say do replicate this thing on other cells? If you have up to 1,000, will you be doing it one after the other? No. So just take your mouse pointer to this edge where you have dots. Okay, just double click on it. Now assumes the rest of the cell. Excel has just carried out the other functions for you. Okay, and if you click on it, you will see on the formula bar how the function and how Excel got the values. Okay, the computation on each of the value is being displayed on the formula bar. So here we want to get the total. Okay, we want the total to be displayed. So in order for us to go about that, why not drag it to this point and tell Excel, I want you to replicate the function you did here on this particular place. So by so doing, it has already computed the values we have here. And looking at this, you have equal to sum. It has summed the value on F3, the value on cell, the value on some, okay, it has summed the value on a F3, the value on a F10. Okay, that is it. That is what this thing means. Okay, if you want to try it, you want to check it on the other way around, let's still go over it together. Okay, because we are learning. Okay, we're improving ourselves for those of us that do not have idea on this. Okay, so go to your formula bar, click on the equal sign, and you type sum, because we want to add the values on that difference on the difference. Okay, so now select all the values you want to Excel to add, then close your bracket, then press your enter key. You see that you still have the same value here. Okay, now we have achieved getting the value, getting the sum on our difference. We've gotten the difference and the total amount of the difference. Okay, all right, so now for us to get the total balance will be the savings at the end of after making your budget. There was a saving, and the saving is 30,000. So let's say equal to, let's say the savings now plus the amount we have here. The amount we have, the difference, the total amount we have after spending on our budget. Okay, the budget was given and an actual amount was spent. The difference between the budget and the actual amount spent is what we have here, which is 67,000 naira. Okay, so the savings will now be the balance on the amount left plus the savings we got from the income, and that will give us 97,000 naira. So we have succeeded in getting our total balance. We have explored the problem we had before us. Okay, now we are going to make our table to look more beautiful, but before then there is something I need to show you, the importance about this cell reference.
Thanks for being with me thus far, and ensure you don't miss out in our next class. Share this link to everyone around you so they can be part of this free online training. If you don't need this package today, remember that others might, as more educational content will keep reaching you from this channel. Once again, I remain Deborah from Devitech. Don't fail to subscribe for notification on our upcoming videos. Thanks and bye for now.